working on my energy. Cleaning up, I'm taking care of myself and me. Drinking coffee, take a sip, they say I'm sparkling. Manifest it, write it down, you know it's happening.
What's Gucci Beauty gang? We're gonna just hop right into this, okay? This is gonna be my way of just avoiding, what am I trying to say? Avoiding the overthinking and perfectionism of how I even want to intro you guys, etc., etc. We just gonna hop into this. This is gonna be a real, just in the moment type of video. I feel like my heart is racing a little bit because I decided to do that. I literally just did that to myself as soon as I walked in because I was gonna do the typical, what up guys? And no, that's not really authentic to how I'm feeling right now and what this video is about. So bear with me, you guys. I am using the Hydra Mask, skin brightening mask from Salt XO, which is a black owned brand. I'm trying to put the lid on so you guys can see what that looks like. It's actually almost gone. I need to get a new one pretty soon here because actually I love this mask because I use it on my face and my face, okay? So yeah, it's a really dope mask. Anyway, I do feel like I owe you guys a pretty big explanation on what's been going on with me in my life. I'll zoom y'all in a little bit, or maybe I need to come in, okay? What's been going on though in my life? Like, I just feel like I've been very tapped out. It's a whirlwind of things as the why behind it. So we're gonna be, I'm talking to y'all like y'all my girlfriends, because y'all are. And if it's guys watching, sorry, but homie. The story is probably gonna bounce, all right? We just kicking it. So the reason I said I feel like I've been tapped out because was it last week or the beginning of this week, I was doing some deep diving on my platforms. So my Instagram and my YouTube in particular, those are my two main platforms. And I've done that a few times this year, but for some reason this past week it clicked in a different way. Like, I have not been showing up the way even maybe I thought that I was. And I remember, maybe it was in my last late night Vin session or something. I remember talking to you guys though recently. It might have actually been in a weekly vlog. I had told you guys that I was seeing some comments that were essentially, sorry, I had to get that done, it hurt my feelings a little bit. I felt away because somebody had commented like my content was giving lazy, because a lot of it is self-care, hygiene, etc., etc. And you know, I'm someone who always tries to take constructive criticism because I'm always open to growth. I never feel like I'm perfect or I can do no wrong or there's no room of improvement in my life. I'm actually always looking for ways where I can improve. So although the comment made me feel away and essentially kind of hurt my feelings, I also had to take into consideration like, okay, there's a reason why that comment was made, right? So I feel like this week when I was looking at, in particular, my YouTube channel, it clicked for me. And although I told you guys, which is very true, that, you know, I'm in a different place in my life right now. A lot of you guys that have been following my journey, since what, ooh, too close to my eyeball. Following my journey since 2016, February 2016, as a sophomore or junior in college. Might have been my junior year of college. You guys have really been on this ride with me, so I understand. And also, I think that's also where the part plays in where I feel bad, because those of you guys that have been rocking with me and supporting me so long, there has been a disconnect on my side, and I kind of plan to explain why in this video the best that I can. That mask actually was really fast, and usually I have my like wine glass, and see, this is what happens when I just hop into things and don't think. But a big issue too that I realized is that I'm someone who overthinks so much, you guys, to the point where it literally cripples me. But before I even hop into that part, I wanted to say, I was deep diving on my YouTube channel this past week, and I realized I started to see the pattern, okay? And I started to see and compare, because the reason I brought up, like, a lot of you guys have been rocking with me since 2016, it's very apparent that the energy I had and the consistency that I had in 2016 is not what I am or where I am today at all. And there's a lot of things that tie into the why. Now, I'm actually feeling like I'm gonna grab me a glass of wine, okay? And we really gonna get into this, so give me 1 second. All right, we back with some Stella Rose Peach. Anyway, where'd I leave off? Okay, so I'm actually gonna, y'all about to see the real ratchet of me, because my hair is looking a mess, but I need to start getting it tamed for this wedding. Put stuff back as I go. But what I noticed on my page this week was there is a clear trend of the type of content that I'm making. So the self-care hygiene stuff, I told you guys, that's the phase I'm in my life as I'm figuring out womanhood, honestly. It's kind of crazy to think I was a legal adult when I started my channel, or almost. That means I started it probably at like 21. Yeah, 6 years, 21. Now I'm 27. So I started in my late 20s. Now I started in my early 20s, and now I'm in my late 20s. And a lot of you guys have kind of like grown up with me in our adulthood together, right? Like our womanhood and stuff. And yeah, so the self-care hygiene aspect of things really, I feel like, took way last year when I started to see that every once in a while when I would do content around self-care or my shower routine or something, like, it went nuts in numbers. And I was so used to the only content doing consistently well on my channel being natural hair, which is how I started the game, right? I started my platforms like big in the natural hair realm of things. And yeah, so when I saw that self-care was starting to pop off, and I was kind of starting to get over natural hair, to be honest, more so in the sense where I felt like I had already executed that lane. I felt like I gave you guys all the wash days, all the wash and goes, all the twist outs, all the tips, tidbits, right? Like the thorough encompassing of my hair journey. So I felt like I had check mark that lane, and I felt like I finally found a new niche that like seemed like you guys enjoyed it and I enjoyed it, right? So it's interesting though, because when I was doing the natural hair content and stuff consistently, back when I first started, I never got comments about like, all you do is natural hair, blah, blah, this is repetitive. Whereas when I transitioned to self-care hygiene, understandably so, it started to get those comments, because a lot of my following stemmed from the natural hair. Now that I'm doing something new, people are looking at me sideways. But, oh, there's just so much that I want to say and like explain to you guys as to what this journey has been like for me. And you know, honestly, it might end up being a 2-part type of late night vent session or a continuation type of thing at another time, because I don't know if there's a way to get everything out that I want to say to you guys in just this video. But the self-care hygiene stuff, yeah, popped off on my channel, and I was like, oh, okay, that's something that we both enjoy, something that does well for me, view-wise on my channel and stuff. And yeah, that's the route that I'm gonna go. Along with that, I also went through a really weird phase within the last 2 years of my life. And I probably look crazy, like. I remember doing a late night vent session not too long ago. Maybe it was this year. No, it wasn't last year. It was basically I Hate Who I Become. If you didn't see it, then I will link it in the description box below. But the base of the video, yeah, so I think I did get into it. But the base of the video was about the fact that somewhere along the way, from when I started social media and my journey to where I am now, I lost my way. And, or I should say was, because I feel like I'm starting to find my way, and I can't say back, because that was something else I want to talk to you guys about. Like, as I was deep diving and going through my old content and stuff like that, I found myself getting emotional looking at like videos that I made year 1 or even year 2 of starting this journey. I just feel like there was so much light in my eyes and purpose and excitement and there was just more going on through me at that time than what I felt like lately. Some of the videos actually brought me to tears, seeing how I used to be and how I used to interact and how I used to express myself to you guys and like talk. And within, I can't even pinpoint the year, but I can say it was about 2-3 years ago, things started changing. And by things, I mean, and there's just so many things that have happened, you guys, in between that I do feel like contribute to the why. But okay, so I feel like I'm talking around circles and shit. Basically, things that have changed from when I first started to now. Big thing, management. That's currently something I just made like about a month or 2 ago, like my first year of having management. Another thing that changed my lifestyle. Another thing that changed me being engaged. And like another thing that changed couples brand actually being a full-blown animal. Like it's an actual brand and it's our full-time job. So me and my fiance becoming full-time, both of us full-time influencers. What else has changed? The crowd I was kind of hanging around changed and evolved. Even I think I mentioned in that Hate Who I'm Becoming video that a big change I can pinpoint when I really started noticing a change within myself was when I was invited to YouTube Black at the end of 2019. Long story short, YouTube Black made me feel super insecure. I felt super inferior to my peers that are around me at that time. And a lot of it kind of just contributed to materialism. I'm really gonna make this long story short for you guys because if you want to see the thorough video, like I said, the link is in the description box. But yeah, materialism was the main driving force, I would say, to why I felt inferior at that event, or allowed myself to feel inferior at that event. And the way I was raised and the lifestyle I grew up with wasn't about name brands and flex culture and et cetera, but the industry that I ended up in for my career is all about that. So it's kind of just like been very difficult, to be honest, to navigate being a small town girl, private school girl, whatever, suburban girl, and then essentially get like thrown into this monster. That's really what it feels like, because when I started my social media journey, I didn't have, and I've said this so many times because it's true, I didn't have intentions to become who I am today, or like Josh has said multiple times, and I think I've shared with you guys, when I first started my journey, I was literally terrified, like wanted to shit myself at the thought of even saying 100,000 subscribers. Like it was like I was too scared to dream that big or even think that big out of fear. And again though, my ultimate goal wasn't about subscriber numbers. It was like I wanted to find a community of girls and women that could relate to me, and a big thing too was this a huge lack of representation that I noticed back then, with in particular chocolate black type 4 hair girls. It just wasn't really seen like that. I hear my phone ringing. Who's this? Oh, it's my mom. I gotta call you back, Mom. When you see this video, you'll know why. That was my purpose. That was my reasoning for why I started the journey. And that's why I feel like when I look back and think back on where I used to be, how I used to be, and stuff like that, and compare it to kind of now, it really makes me emotional, because it's like, I feel like, in some cases, this is a dramatic way of putting it, but I was thrusted into an industry I was not ready for, wasn't prepared for, had no idea what was coming for me, and like chewed up and spit out almost, so to speak. That's why I said it was kind of dramatic. But by that I mean, there's so many things that I've had to learn about myself while also maintaining like a social media presence, because it's my job. And that's been difficult, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, like living out these truths in your 20s and discovering different things about yourself and understanding yourself. That's what 20s is really all about, right? But I'm doing it in a public way. Like I'm trying to do it in a public way. And that was something I think I did tell you guys, and I never got to do the late night event session about it. But something else is that I realized y'all know I'm a Virgo, so the perfectionism is already there, right? But on top of that, I don't want to say being a Virgo, but being a Virgo and also who I am in an industry like this that has transformed into this like fake ass perfection persona. Like it's a lot. It's hard. It's hard to maintain that. And it's not like anybody, and let me clarify, it's not like anybody told me that it had to be that way. It's just when you're in it and you see your peers and how they're moving and what they're doing, and especially if they're successful, and like it's just the comparison, the expectations that I start to put on myself, the overthinking of everything. It just along the way, I lost myself, or I lost who that Isi used to be, the Isi that started this channel in the first place. And I think in the I Hate Who I'm Becoming late night event session, I was explaining like that phase that I went through of buying all these purses and buying all these clothes and feeling like I had to, like because of YouTube Black. And I don't want to say because of my experience with YouTube Black and how I allowed myself to feel in that experience. I told myself from that point forward, I'm never going to feel that way again. So that translated through feeling like, oh, I need materialism, or I need to look this way, or I need to dress this way in order to continue to succeed, right? Or excel in this industry. And that wasn't true. And if I might get emotional in this video. You know what? So be it, because I'm trying to figure shit out, y'all. And I'm trying to figure shit out as transparently and open and authentic as I can, while taking you guys along the process with me, which really isn't an easy thing to do, but I think it's important. And I always have prided myself on always staying grounded in this and taking you guys along that journey with me, because I feel like in a lot of ways, although you might not be an influencer as you're watching this, you also might be someone who can relate to this, just trying to figure shit out, right? Like, and trying to understand yourself more and like figure out what is true to you. And I can say there's a little bit of beauty in the journey, although I'm not happy with the fact that I lost myself in this journey or in this industry. There's beauty in now being back on the right path, I feel like, of discovering myself and knowing what my truths are and what's true to me. Because ultimately, I would say late last year, whenever I did that room transformation, that was kind of like me taking my first step into what is true to EC and standing in that shit. And it felt good. If you didn't see my room transformation video, I'll link that in the description box below as well, because I feel like I gave a lot of insight and context in real time. Because right now I'm just kind of running you guys through a timeline, even though it's kind of bouncing a little bit. I hope you guys are following. Because even with that room transformation though, it came from a place where I felt like social media has just changed so much, you guys, so much since I started. From algorithms to the type of content people post, to aesthetics, to the type of things people wear. And so it's just been so interesting trying to keep up. And that's kind of what it's been like, that saying, keep up with the Joneses. That's really, to me, what social media is. In some cases. And that's what I mean by I allowed it to dictate my path for a while. And now that I'm aware and conscious, I'm talking to you guys in a conscious state. As I'm explaining these things to you, EC wasn't in a conscious state back then. I was just trying to figure shit out. I was trying to just go with what I saw worked for others, or what I thought I was supposed to do with my career and stuff like that. Now that I'm on the other side of it, I'm more conscious of it, but I'm still in this weird space where I'm trying to figure out, all right, now that I know that's not true to me and that's not the path for me, than what is. Having a lot of conversations with my mom and Josh about this, and one of the realest things I feel like Josh said to me was, you can't go back, and that you spend too much time looking in that rear view mirror, right? Looking in the past, trying to figure out how can I get back. I was just so, I need to get back to that EC. That's what I kept saying. I need to get back to that EC, that type of content, that type of, and he was like, that EC is dead and gone. And that's true. Like, I'm not 21 anymore, or I'm not, how do I word this? You know the Johari window, right? My Johari window is no longer the same anymore now that I have experienced so much in this journey, my social media journey. And he was explaining to me too, like the rear view in a car, for example, right? The rear view is small on purpose. It allows you to see kind of what's going on behind you, but for the most part, the bigger window, the bigger picture is in front of you. That's why the front of your car, the window is so big. That is where your main focus should be, in front of you, not behind you. So when he said that, I was like, damn, that's true, that's real. And I've spent so much time focusing on looking in that rear and regretting those few years that I was just talking to you guys about, just getting sucked up and thrown around in the industry and trying to appease. I don't even know exactly what I was trying to appease, but just trying to appeal in a way that wasn't true to me. And I lost my purpose and my message along that way. And it makes me we're getting going a little bit deeper. It makes me sad It makes me sad because the reason I started this journey was so pure and so purposeful. And when I started getting too focused on my image and what I'm looking like, and it didn't help too, this industry is so finicky and funny because you'll see someone with a lot of likes or a lot of high engagement or a lot of comments, and like the Instagram baddie culture, right? That's the best way I can put it. YouTube Black it didn't make me. That experience I allowed to make me feel like I had to dress, look, be, have captions, etc. a certain way in order to attain that type of thing. And even that is weird because of how I started. It wasn't about the likes and the engagement and the views and all that shit. It was just about connecting, forming genuine, real connections with you guys, and establishing some relatability in what I was going through in my life as a Black woman in America, you know, a chocolate Black woman at that. So to look back, that's why it makes me emotional, because I'm like, I had a vision. I was so tunnel vision until I started to allow outside factors to dictate my worth and my content and what was valuable, so to speak. And that's the thing too, like I feel like I went through 2 years of invaluable shit. Some of you guys might think like, you're really judging yourself harshly, but this is, I'm trying to give you guys context of like, this is what be going on in my head. This is how my mind operates and oftentimes cripples me to the point where I'm not showing up, I'm not being consistent, I'm not operating at that higher self that I try to demand for myself. It can get real funny. Saying all that to say, what, EC? What were you trying to say? That I lost my way and how I lost that way. And now that I'm here and aware that I lost my way, trying to find what my new way is it's interesting. It's an interesting journey, and I'm trying to figure it out. And honestly, I overthink it entirely too much. And there's so much I've been juggling, y'all. And this is just my career, right? Most of you guys know I'm also engaged. I'm getting married in less than 3 months. right? Me and my fiance started on a new platform. We switched to a new platform. That's been a whole thing with a whole bunch of judgment and criticism that has come with that people just don't understand. And I think that's the thing too. Like, I don't think people really understand the toll all of this can take on somebody's mental health, especially while they're just trying to navigate their 20s. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, you guys. Something else that changed too during that time and kind of, I think, initiated that push. When I first started social media, the algorithm was not what it is today. Like, do y'all remember when Instagram, for example, used to be in chronological order? Yeah, we're not in that day and age anymore. And on top of that, like, in terms of them pushing or not pushing your content, and like, it's just this high demand on all platforms. And if you're a full-time influencer where like literally your livelihood is dependent on how your shit does, there's a dang, see y'all, that's my timer. I'm gonna try to, yeah, we're gonna keep talking. If your livelihood is dependent on it, it's a different kind of stress that I don't think people really understand. So yeah, during that time when I was trying to gauge what do I need to do to be successful, to grow, to have more likes and stuff like that, because also because if I'm talking 2-3 years ago, that was around the time when I was realizing, okay, I really need management in order to take me to the next level. But there's certain things that management and even brands, working with certain brands, are looking for and expecting in order to even give you a chance. A big part of that is your engagement and your likes and your views and stuff like that. So when I was seeing like peers and stuff in the industry, what they were doing, what they were wearing, and their likes and views and stuff were going down, I just naturally thought, oh, like, that's what I need to do. And that's what I mean by that wasn't where my head was at all in college, but also my head wasn't thinking I was gonna end up turning this into a career. It was just something I was doing as a hobby. And that's something else that's very different and that I feel like Josh brought to my attention is I also can't go back to that old EC because that old EC was in a completely different space and time in life. I did not think that this was going to turn into a full-time career for me. I thought I was going to graduate and become a wedding planner. That was my goal. That's why I got my degree in hospitality and tourism, minored in leadership, and that's what I was going to do. But by the time I had graduated college, I was in full swing with this and I was able to do it full time. I was making enough money where I could do it full time and not need to go job searching. And, you know, also something that has changed, like this move that we did last year. This is technically my first apartment. Like, this is the first time I've lived on my own. Well, I'm living with my fiance, but, you know, lived on my own as an adult. Like, full blown, full swing adulting happened last year for me. And in the midst of having to catch myself because I keep feeling, you know how you can feel the tears of the emotions starting to rise? Gotta breathe it out. But on top of last year being my full first year, I feel like, of truly adulting and like paying rent and other bills and stuff. Also last year, as I shared with you guys before, like my family experienced our first death. My mom's sister passed away, and my family has always been super close-knit. Like, my mom and her siblings did an amazing job of maintaining that family unit. Oftentimes, a lot of people don't get to be as close with their extended family as what I got to experience. My aunts and cousins, they're not my extended family. That's my family because that's how we move. Like, holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, we would all come together. My mom is one of, I want to say, 6 siblings who have kids and stuff, we'd all get together. That's all I've known. That's all I've known. So last year when that happened, it shook the core. It shook the core of my entire family, and clearly it still has us shook because it was so sudden and abrupt, and it was during a time where the world had completely changed with the pandemic. Like, I feel like just in general, life is so interesting because none of us have gone through a pandemic before, but we've all had to like keep going. Like, life has to keep going. And it's hard to even digest what is happening because life happens so fast. And look at my doggone mask. Like, what the heck? I look like a clown. That clown makeup. But yeah, so that happened last year. Last year was also my first year of management, which was amazing and a beautiful thing. But then it also became very heavy and very overwhelming, and it's like it's what I always wanted, but I also didn't know the not expectation. I knew the expectation, but I didn't know the weight of it though. Like, being able to have management is dope. They start pitching you to brands, you start getting more brand opportunities and stuff like that, but also more work comes into the picture. So I guess I'm trying to explain to you guys old EC versus what new EC has been going through and stuff like that. Because also when I first started this channel, everything I created was like organic content. It was what I wanted to do. Like, I wasn't doing brand deals and stuff like that. It looks freaking ridiculous. I wasn't doing brand deals and stuff like that. So whatever I was producing was just organic, authentic, right? And I don't want it to come off as if, no, because sponsored content isn't organic because it's sponsored. So even with dealing with that and contracts and deliverable obligations and stuff like that, like that, I think, I don't want to say it took the fun out of the career, but it added a little tidbit because, like I said, YouTube started as my hobby, right? So something I was doing for fun, whereas when you add business to it, when you add a contract to it, when you have to answer to a brand and stuff like that, it slowly started for me personally to make things more complex. It's probably the best way I can put it right now. Especially because I'm on my own, right? Like, got the management, but they're not here with me, like turning on the camera, doing behind the scenes with me, like, and it was still me trying to create organic content that was true and authentic to me, while also juggling the brand deals with my own personal brand, while also trying to maintain a whole nother brand, a couple's brand that requires me to have energy and input into that because we became full-time. So that also was no longer like a hobby or something we were doing for fun. It's like our livelihood. So that required my energy. Also being engaged. There's just so many areas that I was stretched. And then, like I was also just telling you guys, with my personal life and what's going on with my family, also friendships, close friendships, had to let those go last year, and that took a toll. So it's just so much life that happens in your 20s that I don't feel like is discussed enough in a transparent way. Like, I don't feel like I was prepared for what the 20s had to offer me, so to speak, or what was to come. So I'm just trying to digest. And again, I'm telling you guys different increments, but then beyond even what I'm saying, what's going on in the world is crazy right now. The mass shootings, Roe versus Wade. Like, and I know I don't talk to you guys about these type of things, because honestly, I'm still trying to digest it. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And it's a lot. It's just a lot. And I feel it all. And like, it's just a lot. So I'm sure a lot of you guys that are watching right now can just relate, especially if you're in your 20s like me. You probably looking left and right like I am, like, what the fuck? What is this? Did not know. And like, the fact, again, we're still in a pandemic. That has never happened. Like, we're going through some stuff that's gonna be in history books. It's wild out here. So to digest all of it and then still like try to show up and perform and like give the best positive energy and light that I possibly can deliver for y'all, I just have, I think I burnt out. I know for a fact I burnt out. But also I've been in here a lot. And it's been hard for me to figure out how to communicate. And I'm a great communicator, so that's even wilder. It was hard for me. I've been thinking about doing this video for weeks now. And it was hard for me to figure out how to communicate my thoughts or whatever, which is why I started the video the way I did. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna just talk. And wherever the video leads me or whatever like God puts in me to speak to you guys today, then that's what the video will be. Instead of overthinking, I just overthink so much, and down to the content. Like, there's so much I can do, and it might sound weird, but it's so much I'm good at, because I am good at natural hair, but I also feel like I'm good at doing self-care hygiene content. And then I also have a lot of clothes. My fashion sense is dope. I have hella clothes, but like, right? Then I also have hella shoes, hella perfume, I have so much, okay? So much that I could do. It's overwhelming to think, what direction can I go? And I overthink it to the point where it overwhelms me to the point where I underdeliver and I don't show up. I just feel stuck, So I need you guys to understand, I'm not intentionally not trying to show up. I'm not intentionally only doing self-care hygiene content because I'm being lazy. I'm not. Take another sip of wine. I should say we're not. I see so many of these comments since me and Josh have made the switch to Patreon with our wedding series and content, and just our life has moved in that direction. There's so many pretty mean and insensitive comments of people feeling like, oh, they just want people to fund their lifestyle, or we feel essentially ripped off because you guys led us to this point and then you switched and now you're charging it. And it's like, people don't understand the mental toll all of this can take on you. And in particular with our couples brand, we had absolutely no control over, basically what people don't understand, especially when it comes to YouTube, is when you are on YouTube and you're relying on a platform to fund your livelihood, you're also allowing that platform to dictate your worth. And the type of content that me and Josh make is rare. It's just, you're not really going to find a lot of people like Josh and Isi on social media, and that's not in a cocky way. That's just facts. The type of content we produce, value-based, trying to help people develop healthy relationships and communication styles with friends, family, significant other, even taking people intimately through our wedding process. When I say intimately, I mean like we started premarital counseling about a month ago. We discuss what our sessions are, what we're learning, what we're implementing, and stuff. Like we are deep diving in the process, because that's another thing that sticks out to us. It really dings when it's a lack of representation somewhere. And there's a huge, massive lack of representation in the Black community of healthy young millennial Black love, and what the wedding, what getting married looks like. It's not even the wedding itself. The wedding is kind of like that razzle dazzle, right? But the building blocks that it takes to create a solid foundation for a healthy, long-lasting marriage, there's nothing like that on social media. At least not that we've seen, right? And from a young Black couple. So that was like our reasoning for, all right, we're going to be creating some value-based content that's not out there. We needed to determine our worth based off of that. For those of you guys that might have followed us over to Patreon, I'm sure you can attest the type of content that we're making over there is so real and so raw and so honest and so vulnerable. You know, and honestly, a big part of it too had to do with like our mental health. we had to do it for our mental health because we were drowning. And with YouTube, it doesn't matter. We could have been posting that type of content on there, but again, YouTube gets to decide how worth it that video is. So do advertisers and stuff. Whereas again, because it's something that hasn't been done before, we basically had to put control in our own hands and dictate what our worth was, and no longer allow a platform to do that for us with that type of content. And that's why when I see the comments, I just have to ignore them, or sometimes I'm like, I'm sorry you feel that way. But we had to do what was best for our mental health because, again, like I said, we were drowning, mentally and emotionally exhausted. And to be going through that during a period in our life where we're planning a wedding and it's supposed to be one of the happiest, blissful, we thought, times of our life, it's like people just don't get it. Some people do. Those that get it. And those that don't, they don't. And it is what it is. We have to really take that stand for ourselves, because the route that we were on with being reliant on a platform to dictate the worth of the content and the purpose and the mission and the value that we bring to social media wasn't working anymore. And it's hard because you can't fight them all, right? Like, we had so many comments about people feeling a way about this, and it kind of, it's interesting because it's as if people feel like we played them, and people, they're not taking themselves out of the situation. It wasn't any dig or whatever, like trying to hustle anybody. It was about us, like trying to make sure we were good mentally, emotionally, as well as that was our way of taking our power back and our control back. Similar to what I was explaining about like my room transformation last year. As I was explaining in the video, like I was in this phase of feeling like my aesthetic and the content that I need to make needed to look like essentially what you see a lot of the time. There's this aesthetic going on in the social media world that to me is oftentimes very unrealistic to what real life is, and to try to like maintain a sustain that type of lifestyle and that type of content. Some can do it and that's dope, but it's not for everybody. And that's what I have to start realizing, like that isn't true to me. So me doing my room transformation was my way of standing in who I am and starting to take control back of my life and my career. Us deciding to leave YouTube and put our stuff on a platform where it will truly be valued by those that decide to follow us there, that was our way of standing on our shit and taking control of our life. So it's like some people understand and some people won't, and that's okay. I think at the end of this all, so to speak, it'll make more sense to a lot of people that have a lot of shit talking, to say right now, and that's cool. But it's just interesting because people don't understand that the human on the other side of the camera, like I'm talking in a room right now by myself to a camera, but by the time you guys see this, thousands are going to see it. And I think that it sometimes desensitizes people who's on this other side of the camera. The comments that you say, the comments that you leave, the opinions that you have can be hurtful to the person on the other side trying to show up during a time in their life where things might not be good. And it's interesting to go through this journey. There's so much beauty in it, and there's so many opportunities, and it's so complex, honestly. It's so complex because I don't regret anything about this journey, not at all, because it's allowed me to form a connection with y'all who have been like an incredible blessing in my life. The support and love that my real like OGs, mine and ours, pour into us. It's sometimes overwhelming because it's like y'all never even met us in person, but the way you ride for us and support us is just, it's incredible, because also it's in a way that people even like closest to us or family and stuff don't even do that. So it's appreciated, and it's another thing that's interesting to digest and take in, because it's like, wow, I'm able to connect with people across the world and hopefully impact you guys' lives in a positive way that brings value from both me and our couples brand. And that in itself can be beautiful, but on the other side of the ride, it can also just be a lot of things that transpire that y'all will just never know about or have no clue about behind the scenes unless I communicate it and disclose it to you. So yeah, we're gonna have to make this is probably gonna be a couple different videos, because I feel like, to be honest, I feel like my late night then sessions are almost like a therapy session with you guys. I don't try to go in it prepared or like premeditated, because I feel like that takes away from the rawness of it. When I'm coming on here to talk to you guys, I want it to be me showing up as full, vulnerable, unmasked Isi. Even though I'm wearing a mask, isn't that funny? Because I want y'all to feel me. I hope what I'm saying y'all are understanding, and I'm sure hopefully some of you guys are even resonating with, like, if you're going through some tough, odd times right now, just know you're not alone. Because I am too. I'm trying. Oh, I hate the laugh cry thing because it makes you feel crazy, but I'm trying to figure it out. I am trying to figure it out, man. And it's tough some days. It really is. But I don't want this video to just be sad and dark, quote unquote. I want to view this as a step in the direction of healing. Yeah, I want to face my truths, be honest and vulnerable about them, acknowledge it, and move forward. Each time. I feel like each time I finish a late night vent session and share a truth with you guys, I feel like a weight has been lifted a little bit, because it allows me to show my human side. You know, it allows me to show myself unmasked and not trying to control people's perception of me to make life seem like it's always good or it's always perfect or always aesthetically pleasing and shit. No, it's not. Okay? No, it is not. And I'm trying to get in a place where that's the only way I show up. I saw or heard Gary Vee talk not too long ago, and he had gave this advice to people on a panel saying that, you know, social media should and is about documenting your life, not creating your life. And that resonated deep with me, because I feel like a lot of things that hold me back from being consistent and showing up and stuff, I'm just trying to create. What can I create? What can I, instead of just taking y'all through the literal process of what I'm going through or what's going on in my life at the time. Even with trying to figure out like this wedding stuff. Josh gave me a really good idea, and you guys can comment below and let me know if you would be interested. But y'all know I'm like, my fitness, I'm in it, okay? My journey, I have done, I can't show y'all. I've done the thing though. If you go on my Instagram and if you see my body highlight and my fitness highlight, you will see how I've transformed my body and stuff like that. He gave me the idea. He was like, why don't you, as a way of documenting my life instead of creating my life, why don't you show them a wedding prep workout routine, like how you're getting snatched for the wedding? And I was like, huh, because it's just as simple as turning on the camera, right? So let me know what you guys think about that, if you guys would like that type of content from me, because that is like, it's two for one, because it's one, something I actually do in my I was gonna say everyday life. I don't work out every day, but you know, I'm currently doing that in my life right now. And then two, I could be filming it and giving the content to you guys, so you guys can follow the journey with me or join the journey with me, you know? So just trying to figure out ways to stop overthinking and just live and just document and not feel like I have to create, because the brand deals itself already forced me to do that, right? Like when a campaign or a brand deal comes in, they give me deliverables, I have to create a way of implementing their product within my content. Whereas to also be doing that with my organic content, that's why I can't pump it out. I have been stuck. So, and then again, the Virgo perfectionist, I want it to be top tier, perfect quality, 4K all the time. And it's just not realistic to real life. So I'm becoming more and more aware of things and self and acknowledging it and trying to heal, move forward. Heal, move forward. That is what this year, the remaining of this year, will be for me. And if any of you guys watching can resonate, I know y'all are probably sick of like, this girl has been flattening out her hair for how long now? I'm trying to make it smooth, but it keeps having these divots. But if any of you guys can relate to what I'm saying, I would love to hear your thoughts or where you're at. If you're open to sharing what's going on with you in your life, that's something I have tried to maintain and I'm very proud of in terms of the community I formed with Beauty Gang. I feel like we are all here for each other. And I love when I see dialogue in the comment section where even sometimes I might not be able to respond back with one of you guys give each other words of encouragement after seeing somebody else's comment. There's power in that, and that's what I always wanted when I started this journey. So the fact that that is maintained brings me a lot of happiness and hope. But also, as I guess the former of this community, I want to let you guys know that I'm coming back. I am trying, and I'm nowhere near done. I want to leave it at that because I don't want to overpromise and I don't want to say too much. Me and Josh have this kind of motto going on this year: talk less, do more. So although this video is now an hour, I'm saying talk less, do more, but I think it's important to give you guys context as to what's going on, and not just start trying to turn things around, so to speak, without acknowledging or letting you guys know I'm acknowledging things have been off too. I'm sure, I've seen some comments, people like, yeah, things aren't the same like they used to be on this channel. Yeah, I see that too. I'm acknowledging it and just know I'm working on it. I'm just trying to figure out my actual life and take you guys along the process with me, and that can be scary sometimes because it's super vulnerable. Because if I'm taking y'all along the process with me, I can't control your perception of what you see. Some of it might be good, some of it might be bad, sometimes it might be sad, but it's life. It's just life. So yeah, I think it's probably gonna be in my best interest to start doing more late night vent sessions, especially if you guys enjoy it. So please be sure to comment below if you guys want me to do more of these. I remember I used to try to do them like once a week or every other week. So I just want to gauge where y'all's heads and minds are with it and go from there. Nope. I'm lying. No, I do want to know. I'm not lying about that part, but I'm lying in the sense where I need to stop focusing on, honestly, other people's opinion. And what does EC want to do? What does EC want to share? And I think it's important that I share how I'm going to get on the other side of this. Now, I did all of that and this shit still turned out, ugh. I'm going to go ahead and sleep that a little bit. I think it's because I can't see up close to the mirror because the camera is between me and the mirror. And these little clown tears, y'all. Ciao. I'm done. Because now this video, yeah, I'm going to try to get this up to you guys or get it edited and up to you guys. I'm not going to edit it too much. I think it needs to be just pretty raw, but get it up to you guys before we head to this wedding. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Usually I try to wipe off my mask and all that stuff. No time today, no time. I love y'all. And I do appreciate you guys very much, by the way, as well. If I don't say that enough, I need you to know that. I genuinely appreciate every single one of y'all. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you have a beautiful week. I am praying that all of you guys have the light and love that you deserve in your life. That we all deserve. So yeah. That's all I got for y'all. Isimeme Edeko out.